Caitlin Roth, we are hearing breaking news of a tornado warning. Caitlin, where are you seeing it?
Exactly. In northwest Charles County, Sharon, we have a tornado warning that was just issued. I was on momentarily just a few minutes ago showing the severe thunderstorms bearing down on the metro, and now enough rotation to prompt this tornado warning. This is for parts of Charles County. It does include Port Tobacco Village. That's where it's centered right over. This warning goes until 4:30 p.m. and it is going to kind of lift off to the north and east where that rotation is. So you see the whole momentum of the storms right here is to take this right over northwestern Charles County and kind of push it into more central parts of Charles County, including Waldorf, including La Plata. You've got some really heavy rain right here. So wherever that rotation is embedded within this heavy rain, it's a little difficult to point out. And it's kind of just in the middle of everything that's going on with this severe thunderstorm. But Doppler radar indicated enough rotation within this cell right over Port Tobacco Village. And as we zoom in a little bit closer, this would be right in between Hilltop and La Plata. So a busy enough area of northwestern Charles County at this hour that you want to take shelter if you are in this tornado warning watch box or if you are within the path of this storm. There's a lot of heavy rain. There's also plenty of lightning. So as this moves off to the north and east, it's going to be really hard to see. And you just want to be very careful and take shelter. This whole line of storms, you want to take shelter if you are within the path of them. Notice this extends all the way up to just west of the D.C. metro. So you've got this line combining, and with it, you've got the damaging wind potential. You've got the potential for hail, but also a ton of rain. We have that flash flood warning over Fairfax. And then, of course, we have this tornado warning for portions of Charles County. I'll step out of the way. Let's see if we have any updates. This is moving to the north and east at 25 miles an hour. Anytime you have a tornado warning, flying debris, falling trees, damage to homes and structures are all possible. So La Plata and Waldorf, you want to get to your safe place and stay out of the path of this storm. That's the warning again for northwest Charles County until 4:30 p.m. There is enough rotation indicated within it. And as I put on the velocity tracker, this kind of gives us an idea of where exactly that would be. And this goes back over the past 45 minutes. And yeah, I would say it's just to the south and west of Port Tobacco Village. So as I zoom in a little bit closer, where you see those bright reds that kind of stick out from where the green is, just east of Nanjamoy, and then kind of just to the west of Allen's Fresh there. This would be your area where there is rotation within that severe thunderstorm, and that's where we would want everyone to take shelter. So there's the motion of the storm off to the north and east, bearing down on La Plata right now, by the way. Severe thunderstorm warnings are flying too, so as I just break from that tornado warning for a second, this is your latest severe thunderstorm warning for Fairfax, and this is also, by the way, where we have a flash flood warning. And as I zoom out, you can see the scope of the warnings kind of centered just to the south and west of the D.C. metro. They are all lifting off to the north and east, and we'll be approaching places like Mount Vernon, Alexandria, Arlington momentarily. So very quickly, this has been accelerating and become a pretty scary threat to much of the D.C. area. Anytime we have a tornado warning, we're going to stay on the air with you until the threat has been diminished. But for now, Charles County, you are under a tornado warning until 4:30. This is radar indicated, so I'm just showing you the tornado watch box. You know that if you are in one of these areas near Port Tobacco Village, near Pisgah, near Pomfret, Ripley, Bryans Road, these are all really small communities within the path of the storm. You want to take cover now. We've had dangerous storms many times so far this summer, and we know that they can produce some serious damage. So let's put a tracker on this. As you can see, it's all moving off to the north and east very fast. But where the actual rotation is within the cell, if it holds together, it would be reaching La Plata at 4:18. So that's just within a few minutes. La Plata, heads up to you right now. Waldorf after that at 4:32 p.m. and then Brandywine at 4:48 p.m. If this held together and was still rotating, still prompting a tornado warning, places like North Keys, places southern Sunderland, you'd also be in the path of the storm. But that's kind of getting deeper into Prince George's and then eventually Anne Arundel and Calvert counties. So for now, we'll just focus on where the storm is. Let's get you back to that warning, and we can zoom in a little bit closer. I'll pause it. We'll zoom in. The worst is definitely over La Plata right now. If there is rotation within that cell, it's in between Hilltop and Allen's Fresh, and that's what would be lifting off to the north and east. So I'll just circle that area again. It's a decent couplet, meaning that is some pretty strong rotation indicated within it. So you've got that couplet. It would be moving off to the north and east, and that's going right over La Plata. And then if it holds together, headed towards places like Hughesville. So the reason I'm showing this is just basically so I can have a good understanding of where that rotation is. And it started out as like a really tight couplet just to the west of Hilltop, now a little bit diffuse, but still rotating, and that is pushing off to the north and east into more central sections of Carroll County. Or excuse me, Charles County. Okay, here's an update to that tornado warning in Charles County. It looks like the bottom half of it was sliced off, but that's to be expected as that threat is no longer for Port Tobacco or Hilltop, but this is really just for the La Plata area as we get an update on that tornado warning. Let me kind of get some more details for you. Yeah, at 4:12 p.m., so this is just 1 minute ago. If there was a tornado within that storm, it was over Port Tobacco River, moving to the northeast at 25 miles an hour. Nothing was spotted. We don't want anyone to go out and try to spot it, of course. It is likely wrapped up in a lot of heavy rain and plenty of lightning, and it is moving off to the north and east at 25 miles an hour. So that's fairly fast, but the threat is still there for La Plata and areas off to the north and east. Waldorf, you're not in this warning, but you do need to be careful, and I would take shelter anyways as we put a tracker on this, and you can see that Waldorf is in the path of the storm. At 4:21 p.m., Haley Estates, at 4:28 p.m., Waldorf, and then at 4:38 p.m., Pinefield, and at 4:45 p.m., Brandywine. So if I just named your town, please take shelter, get to the basement or the bottom level of your home away from the windows and let this storm pass. It is all lifting off to the north and east, and it's moving at about 25 miles an hour. It has really started to merge with the severe cells just off to our north. I'll zoom in on that a little bit. When I was first on at the top of our 4 o'clock show, we had a flash flood warning out for portions of Fairfax County. We still do. Notice how those storms over Fairfax have now merged completely with the storms that are traveling up north on 95. So what a mess right now. On the southwest side of the Beltway, that's around the Mixing Bowl, Springfield, 395 as you're getting up towards Alexandria, and then eventually inside the Beltway towards Arlington. You've got a mess on your hands right now as that heavy rain and that lightning continues to push off to the north and east. Big picture, you've got a secondary line to the west, but we'll continue to focus on this tornado warning in western Charles County. By the way, St. Mary's County, I don't want to leave you out as well. You are also under a severe thunderstorm warning. If that starts to rotate, we'll get a tornado warning there. But that warning for Calvert and St. Mary's County does go until 4:30 p.m. right over Valley Lee and Leonardtown. So you want to take shelter if you are in the path of that storm too. Even if they're not rotating, they're going to be pretty dangerous this afternoon, and any wind, whether it is rotating or straight line, can certainly produce damage. Trees down, power lines down. We saw this several weekends ago, widespread across our area. We also saw it last weekend up in northern Carroll County. That was north of Baltimore. That was last Monday when we had gusty thunderstorms. Anyways, the threat for the tornado continues for portions of Charles County. I'm standing off screen just trying to get you guys the latest details. It looks like we now do have a flash flood warning for D.C., Arlington, Alexandria, and Falls Church. So that's heavy rain. That means please do not go out there on the roads if you don't have to. I know it's terrible timing as we are approaching the evening commute on a Monday, but these storms aren't moving fast enough to get that rain out of there quickly. You're going to have conditions that are going downhill with very heavy rain getting inside the Beltway, and that could easily lead to ponding on the roadways, areas of flooding, etc. So if it's not a tornado threat or a severe thunderstorm threat, it's going to be a flooding threat as we go through the rest of tonight. A flood watch is in effect through late, and so flash flood warnings may be issued at any time. And anytime you're heading out and you see it raining really heavily, it is possible that you could have that concern with flash flooding. As we get into the rest of the afternoon, I'll continue to show you any tornado warnings that are issued. This is the one that we continue to follow right over La Plata. So the worst of that storm, if there is rotation still within it, is now over La Plata, and you are still under that tornado warning until about 4:30. It's 4:16, so we've got about 15 minutes to go. We saw some rotation earlier right around the hilltop area, kind of at the base of where that tornado warning is, and that's where it would still be. It's moving to the north and east at 25 miles an hour, so you just can draw a straight line from where that couplet was. It looks a little different than when I last showed it, but it is moving towards La Plata, and then from there it would start to kind of get beyond La Plata into some of these maybe more smaller communities here in northwestern and central Charles County. McConchy at 4:20, Marshall's Corner at 4:26, Lyons Corner at 4:34, Haley Estates at 4:38, and St. Charles at 4:42. You guys all want to take shelter and just allow all these storms to pass before you go out in them. You can see the whole line extends from now D.C., where we have a flash flood warning in effect, down across the Potomac into southern Maryland, lifting to the north and east. By the way, on the bottom side here, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for southern St. Mary's County, so Valley, Lee, Leonardtown. This is it's pummeling you right now, so if it's not there yet, it will be shortly. But Lexington Park, you're also under that warning, and you've also got the storm under you at the moment right now. That warning goes until 4:30. So a lot of this just erupted as we came on the air at 4 o'clock, and that happens. Hot, humid day, pockets of thunderstorms. They're starting to combine. As they do so, you sometimes can get a flare of rotation in them, and that's exactly what we're seeing in Charles County with that storm that is right over La Plata. There's heavy, heavy rain, and there is also plenty of cloud-to-ground lightning within this cell. So it's difficult to see if there is a tornado in there. We're just kind of going by radar here. We obviously don't want you to try to tell for yourself, but it would be just approaching downtown La Plata, and then eventually the whole cell will lift off to the north and east towards Waldorf. But as long as that warning is in effect, we'll continue to bring it to you here. Notice warnings extend all the way up to the west side of the Beltway. These are either severe thunderstorm or flash flood warnings. Everything bringing a different threat. Obviously, tornado, rotating winds, possibility of having a tornado on the ground, meaning you want to seek shelter. But severe thunderstorm warnings, including southern St. Mary's County, and including this whole area here from Charles County back up into Prince William and Fairfax counties. That's where you have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect, and that's where you can have still very damaging gusts coming out of that storm
Caitlin,
at 60
looks like
miles
we got a new tornado warning now in Fairfax County. So
all right, let's zoom in on that, Mike. So this is going to be our new tornado warning. So we now have a second tornado warning, and this is going to be for Fairfax County, and this does include the city of Alexandria. I believe, does that include Arlington? It looks like it might.
It might just get in there.
Yeah, just into kind of the southwest side of Arlington. So 395 as you hit the Beltway. Heavily, heavily traveled area in our region. We know that. This warning goes until 4:45. So there is enough rotation within this portion of the storm. Again, we're looking at a line, but as it all has come together, this rotation has started to flare.
And there's your couplet right there.
Yeah, right to the west of Franconia here. And you see that's just to the east and along 95. So
trying to get the street names to pop up so we can give folks an idea, but system's being a little wonky on me. But yeah, it would be right in there. Let's get rid of the lightning there. I know it's a little chaotic.
Yeah.
So let's go back, and I'm going to switch over here.
Right here.
And we'll get the right maps on for you.
Okay, and this is a live picture of I-95 or 495. Sorry, Mariana. In Fairfax County that we're looking at here. 95. Okay. All right. So this is in Virginia, this image, the camera shot that we're looking at right now. It's a little hard to see. Obviously, it's pouring down rain, but there's plenty of cars out there. They are in Fairfax County under a severe thunderstorm warning, and I believe, getting close to the area where we have a tornado warning. And this tornado warning right over Franconia Springfield
Road,
area.
Yeah, somewhere between, let's see, Franconia and Fleet Drive. That would be the neighborhood where the rotation has been detected, right there within just inside of the 95-495 corridor, getting up towards Springfield there.
Really kind of in the crosshairs of where 95 hits the Beltway, and then, you know, you could either split and go either way on the Beltway, or it becomes 395, and now you're getting into and closer to the Arlington area. But Metro goes straight through the Franconia-Springfield region, so heavily traveled, heavily trafficked. It's 420. People are really starting to get going with their evening commute. That's a lot of lightning, Mike, that you just showed. So
we'll leave lightning off so we can get a better picture of what's going on underneath. But certainly a ton of heavy rain, no doubt. We've been showing that to you on the camera network. You know, there's a lot of colors on this map. So right now there is a flash flood warning, a severe thunderstorm warning, and a tornado warning. So the trifecta there of warning activity right over northern portions, parts of Fairfax, Alexandria, the southern half of the Beltway there, right through Franconia, heading up towards Alexandria. We'll keep a very close eye. Again, the rotation looks rather weak. Looks like we're getting an update on the tornado warning there in Charles County. So this is just the update you on the Charles County one, which is set to expire here in about 8 minutes at 4:30. That one continues heading up from Ripley up towards Halley Estates. We're continuing to monitor both of these. So the two red boxes are the areas there of greatest concern. The newest one being this tornado warning, southern portions and eastern portions of Fairfax heading up towards Alexandria, and potentially, we'll see if it holds together, would get into portions of southeastern D.C. here if the warning is indeed extended. Days like this, it tends to be quick flare-ups of rotation that then kind of can weaken as we go forward. Again, the area that we're watching is the Franconia area right in there. We'll circle.
You can just circle that.
We'll
it's going to be right here.
It's going to be right in there is the area of rotation that we're keeping a close eye on. So that's that warning, which goes until 4:45. And then that secondary warning, Caitlin, down in Charles, they just updated it, kind of confined it down a little bit compared to where the rotation is. That one in Charles County goes until 4:30 p.m.
Yeah, so we'll watch that, but of more importance is this newer tornado warning, which obviously very close in on D.C. itself. If it's extended, if it is, you know, pushed off to the north and east at all, you're getting closer into the D.C. area. The rotation within this, right over the Springfield-Franconia area, so if you're in this watch box, you want to take it seriously. Try not to head out onto the roads right now if you don't have to, which I know is hard to say at this time of day. We have numerous flash flood warnings in effect, too. You can see how heavy the rain is. It's hard to even pick out the rotation unless we're looking at velocity. And there's also a ton of lightning. We don't have the lightning on here right now, but those are many threats to this line of thunderstorms that's kind of bearing in on the D.C. area right now. So rain, lightning, wind, possible rotation, and that was kind of, you see these two purple boxes. These are the two individual tornado warnings that we're watching as it all lifts off to the north and east. And I believe that one in Charles County here.
That one's looking a little weak. Like, we're not detecting nearly as much rotation in that storm. Not going to cancel it till National Weather Service does, of course, but that one not looking as bad. Storm's still rotating in the upper levels, but it's not as defined. This is a low-level radar we're showing you right here, and we're not seeing that tight rotation compared to what we're seeing with this cell up here to the north, a little bit more tight right there near Franconia right now. So of the two warnings, the bigger concern, certainly the one just south of D.C. at the moment, but still, folks in Charles County, we want you to take it seriously. Sometimes the storms can briefly weaken and then re-intensify and drop another tornado really quickly. So we want folks who are under the tornado warning to take proper precaution. Waldorf, you're not in this warning just yet. We're keeping our eye on you, though, as if they do decide to extend it, that you guys could end up being in that tornado warning. Caitlin? Yeah,
we'll just try to put a tracker on some of these, just warning the communities out in the path of the storm, even if the tornado warning is dropped. Alexandria, D.C., these storms are coming right up on you. If they haven't already, the point of rotation, which was kind of centered right over Franconia, that's moving off to the north and east at about 20-25 miles an hour. So you see a list of communities within the path of the storm. Cathmore, it's bearing down on right now. Bush Hill Woods, Burgundy Village, a lot of these are neighborhoods within the area. So if it rings a bell, you are in the area of concern. Braddock after that at 4:36 p.m. Addison Heights at 4:41. New severe thunderstorm warning just issued. That looks to be
I think they just extended
west
it
of here?
northern
east. Okay, east of here into D.C.
Yeah, into D.C. and parts of Prince George's County, too. That was not the tornado warning, just the severe thunderstorm warning.
Severe thunderstorm warning, but to allow for, winds could gust to 60 miles an hour in a severe thunderstorm warning. We've done plenty of these, but they certainly can cause damage themselves. Charles. They're dangerous, so D.C. now in a severe thunderstorm warning as well. And here's a look at what first drove us to stay on the air here. Our initial tornado warning over Charles County. It has moved away from the Port Tobacco Village area. That's where it was initially indicated that there was some spin up, now kind of centered over La Plata, if not now at least the rain with it moving off to the north and east a little bit and over Waldorf, although new tornado warning.
So they just updated and kind of confined this area.
Okay.
They've taken it, now that the rotation's kind of pushed out of Franconia, we'll go ahead back up and we'll go to the north. So the rotation's kind of gotten out of Franconia there and is starting to push up near I-495. So certainly, folks, if you haven't left work yet and you're in Virginia, maybe hunker down and stay put for about a half hour, 45 minutes. Let this guy, you don't want to hit the roads when it's dumping rain like this anyway. Traffic's got to be absolutely miserable out there. So we'll go in on the rotation. Still a little bit, it's certainly not as well defined as it was before, but I see a little bit as you get up just off to the west of Alexandria there.
Like right Varsity Park, just maybe
so
to the south
I see
of
a little
there.
bit around Varsity Park, and then I see this feature right here. So that would have already crossed the Beltway there, but College Park area, and this is not College Park, Maryland, it's College Park, Virginia there, getting right up towards Braddock and then over towards Varsity Park too. But the fact that the rotation's a little split there kind of gives us an indication that it's weaker rotation at the surface. But we're keeping a very close eye on this as it continues to push its way now, I guess, just inside the Beltway according to the latest radar scans.
Yeah, if we have more cameras to show, please let us see it. We've got the two storms, one well, it's actually a whole line of storms, but what we're watching there, again, you can see your camera 395 near Springfield. So this is kind of, I'll step off screen, take a better look at this. You can tell it's certainly pouring rain, but this was within the initial tornado warning, 395 Springfield area.
So that would have been right in there.
Yeah, so they're just to the west of the warning now, I believe. Which means I don't think that they've got the threat for a tornado. That's kind of has pushed off to the east, but barely to the east. So if you're on 395, you don't want to be on 395 because you're within the tornado warning right now. And I can't tell about any lightning just on this camera, but there has been plenty in the vicinity. And that lightning, you watch it just crawl right up into the Beltway and the D.C. area downtown. Going to be getting some of that heavy lightning shortly. The rain, it's just inundating you if you're on the roads. I mean, cars were driving slowly, but there is the conditional threat for flash flooding with any of these storms that you're under. And there are, in fact, flash flood warnings out, too.
Yeah, a number of them across northern Virginia, right up into D.C. as well. So just to recap, certainly storms ongoing elsewhere. Winchester, north of Germantown, getting up towards the city of Frederick, Maryland. We see you, but the biggest concern in terms of storminess right now in and around the southern kind of southwest corridor of the Beltway at the moment, where we do have a tornado warning that remains up for the next 20, just under the next 20 minutes. And then this one in Waldorf is set to expire, or near Waldorf, excuse me, central Charles County there is set to expire within the next minute. So we'll keep an eye on that, let you know if they end up extending that. But the one of bigger concern is this one just north of Mount Vernon between Franconia, Alexandria. That's where the storm is centered. We'll go ahead in on the radar out of DCA. And again, these storms have a habit of they flare up with quick rotation and then it tends to go away. And right now I'm picking up some light rotation, but Caitlin, I'm not seeing anything jumping out and screaming at me. And we should mention that these tornado warnings are what we call radar indicated. We have not gotten any police reports, spotter reports that these tornadoes are on the ground just yet. But this is sort of a preemptive warning that, hey, we see low-level rotation and there's the chance that it could drop from the clouds at any second. So we want folks to treat it like it is on the ground. It'd be right across Route 7. I mean, I'm seeing it get pretty quickly here, Caitlin, into the northern portion of this warning box, and it's supposed to go for another 15 minutes. So maybe the storm's moving a little faster than they anticipated. We'll see if they don't extend and or drop that warning into D.C. Because they would be next up here if it happens to continue. And I do see now that the warning in Charles County has been dropped. And it looks like even the severe thunderstorm warning down to the south has been dropped. So we just kind of have this one lone severe thunderstorm warning, which is that yellow box you see, and then that purple box within it. That is the tornado warning that we're keeping a very close eye on here. But it looks to me, and Caitlin, you can either confirm or deny what I'm seeing here, but it looks to me like the rotation near the northern portion of the box there, about to cross out of it almost.
It does. We're taking a look at the Mount Vernon area, Route 1, I believe you said, Mariana. Okay, so this is Route 1 near Mount Vernon. Obviously hard to see. Traffic's moving slow. There's a ton of rain, and they would have kind of just been in the area of where the tornado warning was issued. But now, I agree with what you're saying, Mike. It does look like it's kind of pushing off to the north of the the warning box very quickly. So we are in a holding pattern to see if they're going to extend that tornado warning, getting that kind of closer to Reagan National and downtown DC, if they do.
And it looks like the box, oh wait, nope, take that back. Box is still there. But if we go in a little tighter here, and it looks like they just issued another severe thunderstorm warning. This is down into southern portion, so we'll just update with the latest here. This is southern St. Mary's County, and that red box around it means that there is the chance they could potentially see enough rotation that it will eventually get a tornado warning, so we'll keep a close eye on this one. Right now, just a severe thunderstorm warning, southern St. Mary's and extreme southern Calvert County there, including Chesapeake Ranch Estates. That goes until 5:15, and that is warned with a designation tornado possible, which means we'll have to keep an eye and see if they don't re-warn that. All right, back to this one in D.C., or just south of D.C. that may, in fact, be getting a little closer to the D.C. border here. Again, what we're looking at with all these colors around, and I'll check a couple of other radar sites here just to make sure that we're not missing anything, but on some of the other low-level radars, we're not really picking up strong low-level rotation, and to me, it really does look like it's near the edge, near kind of the northern edge of this box, near where you see that 395. So Hume, just north of Braddock, that would be the area where it would be. Bellevue, you'd kind of be right in there, and then up towards Congress Heights, you're starting to at least see some of the winds from it. But Caitlin, that's what I'm seeing, is right around Braddock, if it was still there.
That's where it would be. And let's zoom out, and while we've still got everyone's attention here, severe thunderstorms bearing down on D.C. and actually really filling in. Forget bearing down. This is kind of happening quickly as we've now got heavy rain and severe thunderstorm potential within the district itself. You can see everything's kind of been lifting off to the north. We had two separate areas, one storm moving east on 66, a whole line lifting up 95 in Virginia. This is combined. As it did combine, we did get some flare-ups, meaning some rotation, which prompted the tornado warning both in Charles County and then again in Fairfax County. We're still filing that tornado warning in Fairfax County. That would be just to the south and west of Alexandria. Otherwise, threats include damaging wind gusts, severe thunderstorms, and flash flooding, which is back into Fairfax County and down into Prince William. It looks like the tornado warning was dropped for Fairfax County. Am I correct on that, Mike?
You are, yes.
Okay. So with that being said, we no longer have any tornado warnings on the map. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings, and there is the potential that we could get another tornado warning issued. If that happens, Mike or I will be right back on, but I think in the meantime, I will have more weather coming up in a little bit. We're going to get back to the anchors. So again, guys, tornado warnings have all been dropped for the area, still following that threat for severe thunderstorms and flash flooding. Back to you.